Hello, everybody. I am Son of Morgan. Some of you might remember me from my previous monikers of Frost/JE, something Slenderman. God, that was a while ago. I am currently doing a little bit of driving. I need to make this a little easier on myself before I wreck myself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, folks. Now, why am I recording this video? What is this video about? What is this channel about? Who am I and what are we doing? Those are all great and valid questions to ask, and hopefully questions I will answer in this video. Who am I? Well, I don't have much fear in who I am or what I am. So I will be honest with who I am and what I am. My name is Daniel Hobbs. I am an autistic man. I am 19 years old. I'm one of the last people alive in my family. That is who I am. What is this channel about and what changes have been made from the last time I uploaded a video? Well, a lot of changes. My life has changed a lot, not all of it for the better. My very last video I posted was a video of me and my mom. Sadly, my mom overdosed, just like my father. I guess technically speaking, I'm an orphan now. That isn't the greatest. But life's looking up and life is looking down. Just all how you perceive it. I'm now going to college. I now have a job. I just spent a lot of money on groceries, which that's not doing good. What is this channel going to be about? What videos will I be making? A majority of the videos I'll be making would be rant-like videos like this. This is going to be the very first episode in the series that I'm calling Late Night Rants. This is where I'm just driving in my car late at night, talking to myself like the madman I am. And hey, maybe y'all will enjoy this. What is this first video? What's this going to be about, other than me talking about the state of my channel and my state of mind? Well, this first video is going to be about my opinions on the music industry. And this video is sort of brought to you by the band Baroness and the song Chlorine and Wine. Now, the band Baroness is not supporting this video at all. They are not my advertiser, nor will they be my advertiser. Unless they like me for some reason, which I hope they do. They are an amazing band. The best way I'll describe their music is progressive stoner metal. It's real nice. I like it. But I was listening to the song Chlorine and Wine driving a little bit ago. And it got me to thinking about the music industry and thinking about bits of my life. And that gave me the motivation I needed to turn on the camera of my phone and record. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, here is my opinions on the music industry, and this is what brings me to this video. I, just like most autistic people, I absolutely love music. I use music in many ways, and music has helped me in several ways. The main ways I use music is to help pass time, usually when I'm at work or doing something very boring and monotonous. Well, sadly, a lot of music today seems to lack a soul. Most artists that you hear on the radio, in my eyes, are kind of soulless. Their songs don't have much meaning. Which artist am I talking about? I'm talking about factory-produced artists. Artists that rose to power real fast and are real popular almost for no reason, such as Ariana Grande, such as Doja Cat. Let's see, who else? Justin Timberlake. Justin Bieber. Artists like that. Now, before somebody in the comments goes, "Oh, you're full of shit, you don't listen to music." Well, you are 100% right. I don't really listen to music. I try to avoid it on purpose. And I realize what I am saying is almost baseless. But yet again, I'm just giving my opinion on their music and what bits of it I have heard. The majority of their music lacks a soul. The majority of their music can really be sung by any other artist. And the story won't be that different. I believe a majority of these artists have the same kind of producers, part of the same labels. The record labels want them to make the same songs. Piggybacking off of what I said earlier, they're factory-produced pop artists. They do what their factory wants them to do. I don't really like that kind of music. Never liked that kind of music. Never liked these kind of people. But does that mean the music industry's dead? No, not at all. There's a lot of great music out there in the world. You just have to go looking for it. And if you look in the right spots, you can find it. I listen to music from all different genres, all different artists. I've listened to Celtic folk music, hearing the music of my ancestors. Beautiful music. She mole mo kalema. Chukyala. Aaron Gobra. Those are just a few lines from a few different Irish folk songs. That kind of music makes me feel pride in my ancestry. That's good, to feel something from music, to feel an emotion from music. But I want to touch upon a couple of specific artists and how their music has influenced my life for the better. I guess I will start with the band that started it all for me, that led me down the rabbit hole of discovering great music. Before this band, I mostly listened to popular heavy metal bands and some rap artists. And when I mean popular heavy metal bands, I mean like Avenged Sevenfold, Skillet, 3 Days Grace, Hollywood Undead, Slipknot, some Marilyn Manson, but not a lot. Until I discovered this band. This band would be the band Judicator. I was in 8th grade in middle school. I remember I was in the principal's office, but not because I was in trouble. You see, during my study hall, it was me and my English teacher, and my English teacher also doubled as the lunch detention lady. Well, one day, she couldn't serve in lunch detention, so they just decided to put me in the principal's office. I wasn't in trouble, I was just there. I was on my school-provided iPad, and I was looking at pictures of Cthulhu, because I'm a nerd like that. I will touch upon nerdy subjects in my up-and-coming podcast with a few of my buddies, the Smells Like Nerd Rage podcast. Keep an eye out. We're coming. Anyway, I was looking up pictures of Cthulhu until I found an interesting piece of art of Cthulhu. And I decided to click on the pictures website and figure out, okay, where does this take me? Well, it took me to a little-known website known as Bandcamp. And it took me to the brutal slamming deathcore band, the Elite Five. The Elite Five, I don't really listen to their music often. I don't really like that music anymore. But I respect it. And I realize there's a time and place for that kind of music. I don't hate it, I just don't listen to it often. Well, after I discovered that band, I was like, okay, well, what's this Bandcamp thing? Is there any more bands on here? Front page of the heavy metal section of Bandcamp was Judicator's Last Emperor album. And the song that would play when you clicked on it was Spiritual Treason, featuring Hansi Kirsch from Blind Guardian. I fell in love with power metal that day. I became a huge power metal fan. I became a gigantic Judicator fan. I almost became obsessed with them. I had a couple of Judicator t-shirts, still have a couple of Judicator t-shirts. I bought their album Last Emperor. I recently bought their album Let There Be Nothing. And recently, I was able to have a conversation with their lead singer, John Yelland. John Yelland is an amazing musician and just brilliant man. I consider him a friend. I don't know if he considers me much of a friend, but we've had our conversations. We seem to be friendly. Judicator changed my life for the better. The reason why is, during 8th grade, I was in a period of my life that I call the 5 years of prison. Was I a prisoner? Well, not in the legal sense, but in the child abuse sense I was a prisoner. I have a stepfather, which I'm not going to name for legal reasons, but let's just call him the Demon. The Demon was given control of my life by my deceased mother. Well, this was before she was deceased. Anyways, the Demon would accuse me of all awful things. Horrible things. Things that I don't really feel like talking about. Because these things were so bad, they gave me PTSD. I have episodes when I remind myself of this. And my episodes are more psychotic than depressing. I think about horrible things I would do to the Demon. How I'd make the Demon equal in our suffering. But I'm not going to touch it right now. The Demon would do things. His form of abuse was psychological. He would get into your head. That's the scariest kind of abuse right there. The scars that are left upon your mind. He would say things. He would try to use my mother as a weapon against me. He would accuse me of being all sorts of things. Horrible things. Jared from Subway things. ADP 445 things. Joe Biden things. Maybe I shouldn't get political. He would accuse me of awful things like that. It would hurt. And my mother let him control if I was grounded or not. So I spent basically 5 years in my room with maybe a week in between. With maybe not a week, but maybe a month accumulated over those 5 years without being grounded. So I was grounded for 3 or 4 weeks at a time with like 1 or 2 days in between. If I was lucky, a week in between. But then I was grounded again. All because my stepdad felt like it. All because the Demon felt like it. He would accuse me of things, awful things. The majority of the time, they weren't even true. And for the things that were true, he would exaggerate them. Again, locking me up as a prisoner. It was awful. I was the kid that hated going to school. I really did. Until I discovered what suffering was like at home. Then school became my safe haven from home. powerful and makes you feel like you can take on an entire army. I went from being suicidal to feeling like I could fight my demon, like I could exercise him back to the depths of hell. That's Judy for you. Gotta love Judy Gator. Thank you, Johnny Ellen, if you see this video. My next band is the band All Systems Go, also known as ASG. I've known ASG for almost as long as I've known Judy Gator, but the caveat is I didn't really get into ASG until a few years ago. ASG's music can best be described as stoner skateboarder metal. I call it skateboarder because it's literally appeared in the game Skate 2. That is not a bad thing, that's a very good thing. Skate 2 rocks. Love that game. And the music is just amazing. A lot of ASG songs are really high energy, fast paced songs. But I'm not talking about the high energy, fast paced songs. What makes me love ASG and what makes me view them beyond other genres of music and other bands is when they decide to slow down the music. They take a break. That's when they make something beautiful. I'll describe a little story. This story happened a couple of months ago, back when my drug addiction was still going strong. I was a massive Delta 8 addict. Delta 8 is hemp. It's related to weed, but it doesn't hit as hard. If weed is vodka, Delta 8's beer. That's the best way to describe it. I was in my room, getting high as fuck. I had lights in my room because I had a little light projector thing that was really cool and made pretty colors. Because I got afraid of the dark, and I still have a little fear of the dark. I get paranoid at night. I think that's just because my child abuse I've been through. Anyways, I was stoned. I saw the lights. I was listening to ASG. And a couple of weeks before that, I discovered lion's mane mushrooms, which those produce. Well, that encourages neurogenesis in your brain, the formation of new neural pathways, and new brain cells. I think combining the lights, the music, the weed, and the lion's mane mushrooms, that created a new personality. That created who I am today. Before that, I was a very afraid man. I had next to no confidence. But after that, I was able to take a look at myself, discover who I really am. As far as my personality became more obvious, I learned about myself. I have terror. I have perversion. I have idiocy. Stupidity, some people would call it. I have hope. I have courage. Those all honestly, those all created. I was able to view those from the outside. They gave me a new perspective. With the help of that, a few days before that, I was able to go back of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's not super duper far away from me up here in Dayton. Jeremy Neal has lived a very rough life. Painful life. But here's the thing about painful lives, about lives of drug addiction, suffering. Those kind of lives, those can give you a great amount of wisdom. In my eyes, Jeremy Neal is a very wise man. A man that's done it all. He's been able to survive. He's been able to move on. Grow to better things. I discovered him back in 8th grade during my 5 years of suffering. At home, I wasn't allowed to have my iPad. But I was allowed to have a radio. And my mom would also sneak me a cell phone whenever she can. Yeah, it got that bad where I was grounded for months and months and months at a time where my own mother had to sneak me a cell phone. That just tells you how awful things was. Well, I was listening to the radio station 96 Rock from Cincinnati, which at the time my radio could pick up, which I was grateful for that. But sadly, my radio stopped picking it up, and it really sucked. Anyways, I was listening to 96 Rock, and they had a little block where they played music from local artists. And on that week, they played Aliens from Jeremy Neal. The song Aliens is about how Jeremy Neal feels ostracized or just different from the human race. He felt like an alien from outer space. He wanted them to take him home because he didn't feel like he belonged on Earth. That's exactly how I felt for most of my life, and that's still how I feel for most of my life. I feel like an alien. I have a different perspective on why I feel like an alien. I feel like an alien because I'm autistic. Specifically, I was diagnosed with Asperger's when I was a little kid. I suck in social scenarios. I usually fuck up whenever I want to say anything. I can talk now. It's just usually when I'm talking to other people, my mouth fails to come up with the right words. I usually stumble over my own words. That sucks. It really does. It really does. I feel like an alien. But hearing somebody else put these thoughts into words, even better, to a song, that changed me. It changed me to hear something but on rock and roll. And after I heard Aliens, I just had to hear more from Jeremy Neal. I had to hear so much more from Jeremy Neal. And that's when I discovered so many other amazing songs from him. White as Snow, a song about his own drug addiction. Gold. Gold is another song about his drug addiction. But he's overcome these addictions and it's made him a stronger man. Recover. Wow. It's in the title. You gotta recover. Recover from these horrible things. Recover from this addiction. Get better. Heal. Become a better man. Recently, Jeremy Neal has been releasing great music, like his song Contagion. Well, that was about a certain virus of unknown origins that I'm not even going to try to say because I fear what would happen if I say certain things about the certain virus on this website ran by a certain redheaded lady. Jeremy Neal just deserves an entire video by himself, if not a video series, just kind of documenting his career. He's a real great guy. And in my opinion, he's the realest musician to ever live. He might not live in Dayton, Ohio, but he knows exactly what we go through here. Because Ohio is the drug capital of America. Or at least it once was. We have so many freaking junkies here. It's awful. I've lost both my parents to this. It sucks. Heck, I've even been a drug addict at one point in my life. That ain't good. Nobody wants to be a junkie. Nobody likes this. Nobody does that. I'm about to drive through Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio, at one point, was the drug overdose capital of America. That's awful. I just hope Ohio heals itself. It's bad. Hope the world wakes up and realizes our own faults. The world wakes up and realizes there are awful people out there. Certain people that are affiliated with certain economic folk. People need to wake up. Well, folks, this was the first episode of Late Night Ramblings from Son of Morgan. I don't know what the next episode's going to be. If any of you watch this video, give me your suggestions in the comments. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you can. Share it if you want to. That's enough of me begging for the normal YouTube.